The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
We need to change. I know.
All right. Question of the day. This one's a little, all right, let me see. What do you think of wives who don't work and get an allowance from their husbands?
Oh, what do I think about it?
What do you think about that situation?
Scott, go first.
Well, living in Los Angeles, that is a real thing. I'll say this. I've always had a very different opinion than most people when it comes to these situations, because I feel like in those relationships, both people are getting what they want, right? More
Hopefully.
often than not, probably a really attractive girl. The guy might not be as attractive, and therefore he's getting this beautiful girl that he may not have gotten any other.
Trophy wife.
And the girl may be being given an opportunity of a lifestyle that she wouldn't have gotten any other way. So as long as you're both on the same page and realistic about what is transpiring, I don't see any harm or foul, as long as everyone's being honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's living that life and then they're living a life on the side, that's not cool or fair, obviously, then, because then you're kind of double dipping a little bit. But listen, if a girl wants to live a life where she has to go ask for an allowance, that's on her. I personally feel she'd be better off having a job and feeling that fulfillment of knowing she's accomplishing goals and dreams and earning an income. But that's not what everybody wants to do.
Do you see people dipping
answer.
around?
Double dipping.
Double dipping.
Do you want to talk about Adam Levine this week? Or what?
Oh, Adam Levine! I know. Oh man.
Sumner. She's
What
hot.
Wait,
He
man.
must have really liked her by wanting to name his kid after her.
Dude, I can't even get into that. I don't even know what to say to that.
Okay,
Wow.
but you guys, some of the TikToks that people have come up with from this,
Dead.
Did you see the guy singing? Have you seen him?
yes.
The guy singing the texts is one of the funniest things I've
No
ever
way.
seen. By the
I
way, he has
sent
a
it
really
to
legit
you.
voice.
Oh man, he has an amazing voice. I sent it to you. But then there's
seen
a
it.
comedian who is pretending to hold a baby, and he's pretending to be Adam, and she's like, "Oh, what do you want to name it?" He goes, he's looking. He goes, Sumner. She goes, "What?" He goes, "Summer." He goes, "No, Sumner." She goes, "What the fuck is that name?" He goes, "Oh, it just came to me." As if that's a normal name.
Can you imagine, though, had none of this come out, right? None of it ever.
I know.
And he has to think in the back of his mind forever.
Ever.
Yes.
Every time he says his child's name,
He's going to
this
think of
other
her.
person.
I don't even know what to say.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, why would you do that? Like, he must have really liked her.
I don't know. And then there's people who are like, I just wanted to check if Adam Levine showed up in my DMs. He didn't, but I just wanted to check anyway. It's so funny. That's very
You
funny.
know, listen.
99.9 of the chicks that he would approach would say, yes, I will do whatever you want.
Oh.
And I would argue probably 99.9% of the guys, if he did that too, would as well. In that community. He's not that way. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are a lot of gay men that would do whatever for him too.
For sure. I believe it. You know what show I've been liking right now is Too Hot to Handle.
Oh, yeah. I love
Great show.
Francesca. She's so hot.
Oh, she has no personality.
I don't know who she is. I just think she's hot.
She's hot, but no personality whatsoever.
I follow her on OnlyFans.
Oh, Cruz.
Hold on. So wait, now I'll give a little. The show that it revolves around that industry.
OnlyFans?
Oh. I just got into
Oh.
Because I'll tell you something. I think it's very different than most people think it is. I think there is a massive misconception about what OnlyFans is.
Tell
I think
us.
people think of it as porn, and it genuinely, I mean, look, some people use it in that regard, sure. But there are people who do cooking segments, and there are people that teach you how to do boxing. And like, there's every kind of genre of everything you can imagine. And if you're a fan of that person and want to interact with them, you get to pay to have that moment. And that's the difference of the functionality. But
Well,
for the
that's
most
what it was
part,
supposed to be, right? That's what it is.
that's what it is on a bigger scale. Strip away the minority that does it for that purpose of the glamorization. But most people are doing the same stuff that's on Instagram. They're just getting paid for it. And like, these girls are getting paid crazy money.
Yeah. Like how crazy? Tell me.
Millions.
Well, what am
there's
I?
girls that make $30 million a year.
How much? 30
million.
To do what? Be on
to
Only-
just be there, take photos, and then the big money they make is from
Selling
actual
stuff.
interaction. So you can pay if you're a fan to direct message them, and they will actually respond. So different from Instagram, right? If there's someone that you follow and you message them, they may never ever respond, period. But you can pay, and because you pay, they have to respond and interact with you. And that gives these fans a level of interaction with the people that they follow that's different than any other platform.
But
out there.
different than porn and different from nude photos? Like is that what you're saying?
interact
There's
with-
podcasts on there. There's comedians on there. There's everything.
So you
There's
said
everything.
So
Wait.
you said that the and I'm just gonna say this for a lack of a better word, the porn on the OnlyFans is minimal. I think that's what's most of it, because they were trying to take it out and they're gonna lose so much money that they just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna keep it and let it just do."
That
what
was
it's
all-
gonna
What's
that
do."
was a
interesting though is
marketing
like
thing.
it's really
Mhm.
the majority of the people who quote unquote get put in the category of porn are really doing photo shoots in the same way that FHM and Maxim and Victoria's Secret did. More often than not, they're not showing everything. They're
beg
showing
to
stuff.
differ.
I have a best friend who makes 7 figures, and I've seen her whole thing, and she is implied.
She's implied. What is that? So
Like-
she's showing up to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what most people do. I think
Because
there-
she said that on Instagram, she said now, because, social media, they don't really do much for their influencers. So she's saying it kind of gives the influencers a chance to take control of
100%.
their money, and it is all in the communication, because you can pay to, like,
Well, that's why
imagine.
they're all kind of starting their own, like, now you can pay to have these subscriptions.
Well, yeah, because if you go on Instagram and your DMs, like, you have to take so much time to answer people. So now if you have OnlyFans, you can say, like, come here, and then you have to tip to chat, basically.
Well, I think what you just said is actually the biggest part of it, right? And that's the taking the power back.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a young female, right? For such a long period of time, Hugh Hefner and people like him controlled businesses literally that they monopolized these women, took advantage of them, made tons of money, and the girls didn't make much of anything, quite frankly.
Right.
And OnlyFans provides these ladies an opportunity to own themselves, their image, what they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do outright, and take the power back. And that's very much a part of kind of what that project is that Sumner's a part of. Is there's a young lady who owns a talent agency that kind of helps people in this space, and she's a 25-year-old girl who is doing really well, but really watches out for her clients because she's just the same age as they are. And they're trying to say, like, look, we're not letting these old dudes tell us what we can make, what we can do, what we can't do. We're going to determine that on our own and keep all the money for ourselves. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's radical. Honestly, it's pretty amazing. It's empowering. And yes, it can be all the other negative things, but I think everything on this planet can be both good and bad.
I agree. 100%.
I mean, if I was attractive enough, I would freaking love to make
Scott, you can sell your feet, I'm sure.
let's not do that. That's a whole other world. Let's not do that.